People think respect comes from being loud, from being confident, from being the most dominant person in the room. But real respect usually comes from something quieter. It comes from how you carry yourself when nobody is clapping. How you respond when someone tests you. And what you refuse to tolerate, even when it costs you. Sometimes the behaviors that build respect can look cold to people who are used to you being available all the time. But they aren't cruel. They're controlled. So here are 5 cold behaviors that make people respect you more without you begging for it. 1. You stop being too available. One of the fastest ways people lose respect is when they become too easy to reach. You reply instantly every time. You always pick up. You always show up. You always make time. And at first, people appreciate it. But over time, it creates a dangerous message. My time doesn't matter. And once people believe your time doesn't matter, they start treating you like an option. Not because they hate you, but because you've made your presence feel unlimited. Respect grows when people know they can't just get you whenever they feel like it. So sometimes the coldest thing you can do is simple. You don't respond immediately. You don't rush. You don't rearrange your life for everyone. Not out of pride. Out of self-respect. Two, you don't react emotionally when you're provoked. Most people can be controlled with one thing: a reaction. Someone insults you, you get angry. Someone ignores you, you start chasing. Someone acts distant, you start overthinking. And once people know they can pull emotions out of you easily, they start playing with you. Emotionally stable people are harder to control because they don't respond immediately. They pause. They observe. They don't try to win every argument. They don't rush to defend their ego. And that calmness makes people careful. Not because you're scary, but because you're not predictable. When people see you can stay calm under pressure, they start treating you differently. They start choosing their words. Because they realize they can't push you around. 3. You stop rewarding disrespect. This one is uncomfortable, but it's real. If someone can disrespect you and still get your attention, still get your kindness, still get your loyalty, they won't take you seriously. And it doesn't have to be big disrespect. It can be constantly being ignored, being spoken to anyhow, being treated like a backup plan, being remembered only when they need something. Most people don't change because you explain how you feel. They change when your behavior changes. So instead of arguing, you pull back. Instead of complaining, you reduce effort. Instead of giving the same energy, you match what they give you. And when they realize you're not going to keep feeding bad behavior, they start respecting your presence. Four, you walk away without needing the last word. A lot of people stay stuck in disrespectful situations because they want one thing: closure. They want the last word. They want the apology. They want the other person to admit they were wrong. But emotionally mature people don't live like that. They understand something simple. Some people will never admit what they did. And if you keep waiting for them to understand, you'll stay trapped. Walking away without closure looks cold. But it's powerful. Because it shows you don't need validation to move on. You don't need someone to agree with your pain before you leave. You just leave. And when people see you can detach like that, they respect you more. Because they realize you can lose me and still be fine. That's strength. Five, you stop trying to be liked. This is the hardest one. Because most people were raised to be polite, friendly, helpful, and agreeable. But when you build your whole personality around being liked, you start losing yourself. You laugh at disrespect. You tolerate jokes that cut too deep. You act fine when you're not. And people pick up on that. They can sense when you're desperate for acceptance. And once they sense it, they stop treating you as an equal. Respect comes when you're willing to be misunderstood. When you're willing to disappoint people. When you don't chase approval. Because when you stop needing everyone to like you, you start moving with authority. You start speaking less, but meaning more. You start choosing your circle. You stop shrinking to fit in places you've outgrown. And that's when people start respecting you, even if they don't always like it. None of these behaviors are about being rude. They're about self-respect. And self-respect always looks cold to people who benefited from you having none. So, if people start calling you different, if they start saying you've changed, if they start acting uncomfortable around your boundaries, don't panic. It might mean you're finally acting like someone who knows their value. Because when you stop begging for respect, it starts showing up.